Hello, welcome back to the channel. It's your professional Yapper here, and we are back with my Kingdom Hearts TV series concept. But I decided to change things up a little bit. This will not be part 4, and I will not be like going episode by episode like I did. I'm going to have this is going to be one long video, and each season is going to have its own segment, and I'm just going to explain what I would change, what I would not change, and some stuff I would add based on Kingdom Hearts media outside of the games, like YouTube videos and the manga and all that type of stuff. And for those of you who are new here, a Kingdom Hearts adaptation has been something I've been wanting for a while, and I had made 3 other videos explaining my pitch and my idea for this hypothetical TV series, which looking back on those videos, I didn't like it. Like, I feel like I didn't do enough and I didn't explain well, so that's why I'm redoing it, and I'm just redoing it into one long video. I feel like when I do projects like this, I really have to stop stretching them into like 3 to 4 parts, because I do that a lot. I did that with the Kingdom Hearts Lore Dive series. I feel like I try to turn too many things into a series, and yeah, it just doesn't work well. So this is just going to be one long video explaining my concept, and yeah. Also, while I was looking back on some of the first 2 parts, I left a lot of editing errors and a lot of audio mistakes, and I want to fix that going forward. That's been something I've really been working on when it comes to my content. I've been trying to fix my audio quality, my visual. Like, I've just been making sure my quality is more up to par. I've been trying to get like higher resolution images, better audio. I've got a new mic coming in. Like, I've just been trying to get better with quality, and I've been going for a more quality over quantity approach with my content. That's why I've been posting less, because I've been taking the time to make sure everything is up to par and good quality, like a decent quality with the equipment that I have. And yeah, like I've just been really taking the time to do that. That's why I'm doing this. So in that previous video, I had plans for 5 seasons, a couple OVAs, and a whole spin-off series. Like, I really think Kingdom Hearts could be like a whole like universe for Disney if they do it right. And yeah, this is basically my concept, my idea that I came up with. For casting, I kind of explained this in part 1, but I'm gonna just go over this again. So I'm gonna go over some basic stuff before I get into each season, because I am gonna delete those videos. So I'm taking casting from this video from the wonderful Shadow Shoveler Productions on YouTube. His content is really good, please go check him out. Basically, he did a video casting all the characters from every single game. And yeah, I'm just gonna go with this casting with one exception. I want Sora, Riku, and Kairi to be played by young, unknown child actors. I just think that would be better, and I would love for a young actor to grow with the character of Sora like Haley Joel Osment did. Obviously, this is an adaptation. There will be changes, things will be added. So I will go over that as I go through each season, but I'm not just pulling things out of my ass. I'm not just making shit up. I'm taking elements from non-game related Kingdom Hearts media, like non-canon media, for like the manga, the Seth Kearsley pilot, and certain YouTube videos that I've seen. Like, the community really came in clutch when it came to like looking for ideas from this project, and I'm gonna give a credit to some of the creators whose videos I used throughout this video as I go through it. But yeah, like, the community was just really helpful for this project. So season 1 would obviously be based off of Kingdom Hearts 1, and it would have 20 episodes and 2 acts. I'm going to do this the old school way, not that little 8 to 10 episode every 2 years streaming bullshit. It's gonna have this hypothetical series would have 20 episodes, 2 acts, and they would come out within like 5-6 months of each other. And not every season will have the same amount of episodes. Some will have more episodes, some will have less, and yeah. Of the first 10 episodes would be for season 1, the first 10 episodes will be act 1, and episodes 11 through 20 will be act 2. And yeah, like a season 1A, season 1B type of thing. So out of all of the games, Kingdom Hearts 1 is probably the easiest to adapt into a TV show, because it is the most simple out of all of the stories of all the games. But I am going to be toning down some of the lore. I want to focus more on character development in this project, because I think this show would be meant for a broad audience, and I think and I think the lore should just be toned down a little bit, just for things to make sense to the general audience, because I really want this hypothetical show or movie or just any Kingdom Hearts adaptation in general to introduce a new generation of fans into KH. So these are the episode titles that I came up with for Act 1. Destiny, which will obviously be the pilot episode and would focus on Destiny Islands. The only thing I would want for this episode is a lot more Destiny Island trio interactions, especially with the Final Fantasy kids. Like, I just want to see more of Destiny Islands, maybe Sora's mom, Kairi's grandma, like stuff like that. Episode 2, Heartless, which will obviously be about Traverse Town, which will be Sora landing in Traverse Town, and maybe seeing some other worlds fall to darkness. It would be interesting if we see, like, maybe, like, some of the worlds that the summon gems come from, like, fall to darkness, like Dumbo's world, the Dalmatians world, just to kind of like incorporate some gameplay elements into the story. That's also what I want to do. I also took a lot of inspiration with this video in the background made by the amazing Shady Riku of Kingdom Hearts 1 deleted content. And I would want to incorporate some things, especially in episode 1, like I want to see a more goofier side to Sora, Riku, and Kairi, just them being kids. And in episode 1 specifically, I want more scenes with the Destiny Island trio, because in the first game and some of the other games, it kind of deals with the themes of innocence and the loss of it. And I think just seeing these characters just be kids and then their worlds fall to darkness, I think will really hammer in that theme. Episode 2, I think the only thing I would want, other than like the Traverse Town scene in the game, is maybe some Ansem flashbacks, some Hollow Bastion flashbacks. And one thing I would do for Traverse Town is introduce some new original characters, because Traverse Town in the game is a refugee world for people whose worlds fell to darkness. So I would really want to hone in on that fact in the show. The Disney World episodes will kind of stay unchanged, except for Deep Jungle, which instead of being based off of Tarzan for copyright reasons, will be based off of Jungle Book. Square Enix the developers have been trying to get Jungle Book into the game since Birth by Sleep. It was almost a world, but then it got cut. So I think Jungle Book instead of Tarzan would be good for this series. Episode 6 would be just based off the Gummy Ship. I just want some fun filler, and I think learning more about the Gummy Ship and maybe getting a good Gummy Ship battle would be some fun filler. Episode 7, obviously based off of Agrabah, I would want a Riku filler episode, just to kind of get his arc started a little early, and just to see him kind of fall to the darkness a little more, just to make his arc in Season 2 and Chain of Memories a little bit more impactful. Episode 9, A Very Small Wish, obviously would be based off of Monstro. I would do a little plot. This is where I do a little plot changing. I would want Pinocchio obviously would still be captured by the Parasite Cage in this episode, but instead of Riku trying to capture Pinocchio in Monstro, he will try to capture him in Traverse Town, which that's why I have episode 10 being called Reunion, and I will end the episode 10 with a little scene of Kairi's lifeless corpse on the Neverland shore. And the reason I'm saying that is because I got that idea from this video by Regular Pat. Basically, in this video, he wonders where Kairi ends up before ending up on Hook's ship. And yeah, we're gonna answer that groundbreaking question in this show. And why? Because it's my hypothetical TV show and I can do what I want. Now on to Act 2, which will finish off Season 1, Act 2, Episode 11, The Seven Hearts, will be a very Kairi-centric episode, and it will also revolve around the Princesses of Heart, who all are taken by Maleficent and Riku. And we'll get some Kairi flashbacks. This will also be the episode where we get her grandma in the story. And then episode 12, Traverse Town, and honestly that episode will just be a filler episode about the Final Fantasy characters. I want them to have more stuff to do as well. Episode 13, the storybook, 14, 15 obviously will be based off 100 Acre Wood, Atlantica, and Halloween Town, and nothing I would really change. Episode 16, Ansem, would be a filler episode about Ansem, and this is where I would incorporate some of the Ansem reports and just seeing his descent into darkness. Episode 7, The Jolly Roger, which will obviously be based off of Neverland. Episode 18, Hollow Bastion, which will be the beginning of the finale. This where Sora would lose the Keyblade to Riku and Donald and Goofy as well. And this will be where Sora fights Maleficent, the dragon version of her. And this episode would end with Sora becoming a Heartless. Episode 19 would be Kairi saving him, and her and Sora making their promise. And episode 20, which would be called Simple and Clean, because I really want the finale episodes of the first 2 or 3 seasons to be named after Utada Hikaru songs. So yeah. But yeah, this would obviously be Sora, Donald, and Goofy at the end of the world, and this will be where he finally defeats Ansem, and Sora, Donald, Goofy, Mickey, and Riku together close the door to darkness. And that will obviously be the end of our season. This episode would have 2 post-credit scenes. The scene with Sora, Donald, and Goofy in the field heading to Castle Oblivion to set up our OVA, Chain of Memories, and the secret ending of KH1 with Roxas and Riku to set up Season 2. So instead of jumping straight into Season 2, Chain of Memories will be a 2-part OVA special. Part 1 would focus on Sora's journey throughout Castle Oblivion, trying to help Naminé, going through all of the card worlds and battling against the organization. And part 2 would be about Riku and starting his little redemption arc and trying to conquer the darkness. And something I really wanted to do, especially as we get to the newer games where we introduce some more characters, I wanted to give a lot of the characters who are not Sora and Riku more character development, because I feel like characters like Kairi, Aqua, Terra, Ven, don't have as much character development as Sora and Riku. So as we get to some of these side games, I do want to focus more on character development over lore. Especially with Naminé, I do want to give Naminé some more character development and some more screen time. A little sequence that I thought of is in the Sora episode. What if we have a scene where we go through the whole little sequence of Destiny Islands, but instead of Sora, Riku, and Kairi, it's Sora, Riku, and Naminé. That way we can see a little bit more of how Naminé is manipulating Sora's memories and sequences of events. And just like Chain of Memories, the events of 358 Days Over 2 will be told through an OVA special, just this time it will be 3 parts instead of 2. Part 1 will center around Roxas, learning the organization, going on missions, going to Disney World, pretty normal stuff. Part 2 will revolve around Axel and his journey to Castle Oblivion, and uncovering some of the mysteries behind the Kingdom Hearts lore a little bit. In part 3 will revolve around Xion figuring out who she really is, and the sad emotional conclusion to this heartbreaking story. I decided to make the Days OVA 3 parts because I wanted one OVA for each member of the Sea Salt Trio, because I really need Axel and Xion to have more character development. So yeah. Maybe in Axel's OVA we can get little bits and pieces about Lee and Isa and Subject X and all that type of stuff, his life as a human before becoming a nobody and a part of Organization 13. Season 2 will obviously be based off of Kingdom Hearts 2, and it will have 26 episodes instead of 20, but it will keep the 2-act format from Season 1. And Season 2 has to be longer than Season 1 because I was watching the theater mode cutscenes for KH1 and KH2. Kingdom Hearts 1 is only 3.5 hours in terms of cutscenes. Kingdom Hearts 2 is 11. So yeah, there is a lot more ground to cover in this season. And there will be more little changes and tweaks from this season than there were in Season 1. So these are the episode titles for Act 1 of Season 2. Lazy Afternoons will literally just be the Twilight Town prologue with Roxas. Episode 2, Awakening, will be Sora awakening from the little egg pod thing at the end of Chain of Memories. Episode 3 will be about Sora going to Hollow Bastion and reuniting with the Final Fantasy crew. And then for the Disney World, I'm doing something a little different. There's going to be more worlds instead of second visits. So the Disney World in Act 1 will just be the returning worlds from Kingdom Hearts 1. I brought back all of the worlds, even Deep Jungle, because it would be based off of Jungle Book, not Tarzan. So I could bring it back. And I added the Cornerstone of Light because I forgot Disney Castle in the last video and I can't believe I did that, so yeah. Episode 11 will obviously just be a filler episode about Kairi, maybe some more Destiny Island stuff, maybe some more maybe a scene with her grandma, and obviously her ending up in Twilight Town. Episode 12 would just be about Ansem the Wise, but obviously Sora, Donald, and Goofy. This will be where Mickey meets up with Sora, Donald, and Goofy and basically tells them the truth about Ansem and Xehanort and all of that. And yeah, this is where we'll start getting into like the nitty gritty when it comes to like the major parts of the story. And then episode 13 Act 1 will obviously end with the Thousand Heartless battle. And what I want to do is I want to space out the organization fights instead of the majority of them happening at the world that never was. So obviously, Demyx will be the first one to go in episode 13. And this is Act 2, Episode 14, called Rebuilding. Sora will just be helping the Restoration Committee basically clean up after the Thousand Heartless battle. But there will be a scene where Sora gets the 100 Acre Wood book, and in all of the Disney World episodes leading up to the 100 Acre Wood episode, he's going to have to find the torn pages, like in the game. Episode 15, One Winged Angel, will be based off of Sephiroth, because I cut the Sephiroth battle out of Season 1, so it will be here, and maybe we can get some like Cloud and Sephiroth scene, maybe a Leon and Sephiroth fight, and obviously Tifa will show up here. And then episodes 16 through 19 are all the new KH2 worlds, except for Neverland. I brought that back from Kingdom Hearts 1, but I wanted it to be towards the end of the season, like how it was in the first game. I brought Lilo and Stitch in because Stitch is in this game, and the Lilo and Stitch world wasn't Birth by Sleep, but it was just a spaceship. And then episode 22 will be based off of Space Paranoids. Episode 23 will be an Organization 13 filler episode. Episode 24 will be about the Roxas fight. Yeah, and I did space out the organization fight, so you would defeat Zoldan in episode 17, like in the game. I moved Luxord to episode 19, and then obviously the Roxas battle will be episode 24, and then Zayax and Sigbar episode 25, and then Xemnas in the final episode, Sanctuary. And that's how the season would obviously end with Sora, Riku defeating Xemnas and going back to Destiny Islands. And yeah, that is how Season 2 would end. And obviously they would get the letter from Mickey, which would bring us into our very next OVA, Recoded, which will just be one OVA special. I don't think it needs to be 2 or 3 parts like Chain of Memories or Days. I think the story of Coded is pretty simple and straightforward, so I think one 90-minute OVA would be perfect for Recoded. Now we're moving on to Season 3, which will be based off of Birth by Sleep, and it will only be 16 episodes. So obviously Aqua is the de facto main character of Birth by Sleep, but I do want to focus more on Terra and Ven throughout the season. I do want to give them more character development, also mainly because Aqua is getting her own OVA with 0.2. But I do want to focus on Terra and Ven a little bit more, specifically Ven, because I think Ven's connection to the Key Saga could provide an interesting insight into the story. And don't worry, I have not forgotten about the Key Saga. I will explain how I will do that momentarily. So Act 1 would have 8 episodes. Episode 1 would be called Mark of Mastery. It will be the beginning of Terra, Aqua, and Ven at the land of departure. Maybe some flashbacks to the beginning of their training. Episode 2, Hint of Darkness, will be a very Eraqus and Xehanort centered episode. Maybe some little connections to Dark Road, because that will be covered in the Key Saga. And then episodes 3, 4, and 5, I wanted to give Terra, Ven, and Aqua each their own episodes to explore their own personal stories. And it will also tell the events of the first 3 Disney worlds from their point of views. And then episode 6 will be based off of Disney Town. And episode 7 will be about the formation of the original Keyblade, or the Kai Blade, or X Blade, whatever you want to call it. Because I think Birth by Sleep and Union Cross have a lot of loose connections to each other, especially with the Ventus of it all. So what I want to do is I want to like connect those. I want to connect those 2 stories a little bit more. And then episode 8 will obviously be Terra, Aqua, and Ven reuniting in Radiant Garden. And I think this episode will be very good to see like Radiant Garden before Kingdom Hearts 1. Like, I just really want to see more of Radiant Garden at the height of its power before falling to darkness. So now on to Act 2. Episode 9, I couldn't come up with an actual episode title, so it's fucking Mary Poppins. So I really tried so hard not to make like this concept series my own little fanfic. But there are some Disney movies that I feel like deserve to be in Kingdom Hearts as worlds. And yeah, Mary Poppins is like one of them, and I think it would really fit with Birth by Sleep and like the old school Disney vibe that it had. Also, I had to like Google and type out this entire word for this video of this damn song from Mary Poppins. So like the things I do for you people. And then episodes 10, 12, and 13 would obviously just be based off the remaining Birth by Sleep Disney worlds, Deep Space, Olympus, and Neverland. Episode 11 would be based off the Mirage Arena. I don't know how I would exactly do it, but I want to incorporate the Mirage Arena into the story somehow. But I was doing some little research on Birth by Sleep's development, and I know the original idea for the Mirage Arena is that it was supposed to be ran by Laguna from Final Fantasy VIII. Maybe we could throw that in somehow, or alternate idea, I want the Mirage Arena to be ran by Barret from Final Fantasy VII, because he's the only member of the main Final Fantasy VII crew that we have not seen in Kingdom Hearts, and I just really want Barret in a Kingdom Hearts game. Also Lightning. I just want more Final Fantasy rep in Kingdom Hearts outside of 7. And then episode 14, New Scars, this will be where Terra kills Eraqus. Episode 15, Birth by Sleep, will basically be the ending of the game, the big battle. Basically, everything that happens in the Kingdom Hearts 2 secret movie will happen in this episode. And then 16, obviously, is Blank Points, basically an epilogue episode, with Aqua in the Realm of Darkness and Terra being taken over by Xehanort, becoming his Ansum's apprentice. I'm sorry, I stutter over my words a lot. I don't know why I do that, but yeah. And this season would actually lead us into our next OVA, which would probably come out after season 4, which was obviously based off of season 0.2. And then season 4 will be based off of everybody's favorite game, Dream Drop Distance. You know, the community obviously loves this game so much. You know, the game with the stupid ass Tomodachi Pokemon looking ass creatures that you have to level up just to do anything in this goddamn game. I'm sorry, I'm gonna speedrun this season because I really want to move on to the Key Saga and Kingdom Hearts 3. So episode 1 obviously would just be the beginning of the game. Episode 2 would be Sora and Riku arriving in Traverse Town, or like the sleeping Traverse Town, and obviously meeting the 12 characters who will be voiced by their original game actors. They should not be recast. They should not get those god awful fucking anime voice actors. I need the original game cast. Like, whoever voiced them in the anime was awful. Episode 3, 4, 5, and 6 will obviously just be the first 4 sleeping worlds: the Cité de Cloche, Prankster's Paradise, The Grid, and A True Musketeer. Like, I didn't even bother coming up with creative episode titles for this game. And I put a little bit more thought and effort into Act 2. Episode 7 will obviously just be based off the Fantasia World episode, and I added 2 more sleeping worlds. I added Atlantis and Treasure Planet. And I know as soon as I said that, the fucking Kingdom Hearts dude bro started creaming their pants. Yup, I would add Treasure Planet. It's been long overdue. Personally, I want an Atlantis, but yeah, I think both of them could fit in Dream Drop very well. And then episode 10, Shibuya would obviously just be based off the 12 gang. I didn't know what to do for this season. Like, I was scrambling. Episode 11 and episode 12, I just kind of came up with episode titles. I'm sorry, y'all. This was very hard. I did not know much about this game. Like, literally for the Lore Dive series and for this series, I literally just watched the theater mode because I could not finish it. So for the Key Saga, I think it would be its own separate spin-off series instead of just an OVA. I really want to see the character, story, and environments from this series in full HD and not these ugly ass fucking mobile game PNGs. So the first season, which would be based off of Back Cover and Unchained Key, which would be pre-Keyblade War. Season 2, Union Cross, which would be post-Keyblade War. Season 3 would obviously just be based off of Dark Road, and Season 4 would be Missing Link. I think this would be a perfect opportunity to tell the story of Missing Link in a way that it would never be told, because obviously the game was fucking cancelled. And I just really think that the story of the Key Saga needs to be told in a better format that's not these shitty ass ugly gacha PNG mobile games. And I really think we could do a lot with these characters from this saga. I think it's very interesting. I think we could do a lot with the foretellers and even the new union leaders. Like, I really think there is a lot of characters that we could really do a lot of fun stuff with. Also, it would just be fun to see the Wreck-It Ralph world in full HD. Obviously, the animation style in my ideal situation will just be based off the opening and closing cutscene movies from the games. That's how I ideally would want it. And then we have the final season, the moment you guys have all been waiting for since I started this series. Season 5, which will be based off of Kingdom Hearts 3, plus the Remind OVA. It will be 20 episodes, obviously, plus a 90-minute OVA. So the first act will just be the KH3 Disney Worlds, with 2 exceptions that I added. They're technically returning worlds, but we would be looking at them through a new lens. Episode 2 would be based off of Wonderland, but more so the Tim Burton version instead of the original animated movie. And episode 3 would be based off the live action Maleficent. I think it would be very interesting to see Kingdom Hearts 1 Maleficent and Angelina Jolie look-alike Maleficent fight it out, just mainly because Maleficent has been doing some time travel shenanigans in the Key Saga. And then the rest of the worlds will obviously just be based off of Kingdom Hearts 3 Disney Worlds. And the reason I'm adding those 2 returning worlds to this story is because I really like the idea of Sora having to go to Olympus to try to find the power of waking. So I thought, what if Sora had to go back to some other worlds as well? While Act 1 focused more on the Disney worlds, Act 2 will focus more on the original story and characters. Episode 11 will just be a filler episode about Kairi and Lee training. Episode 12 will be the 100 Acre Wood episode, but instead of Merlin giving the book to Sora in Twilight Town, he would give it to him in Radiant Garden, because I really want Sora to see the Final Fantasy characters and interact with them. Episode 13, the Gummy War, would just be a little callback to Season 1, with the Gummy Ship battle, because I did include that in Season 1, and there are more Gummy bosses in Kingdom Hearts 3. Episode 14 would be Riku and Sora rescuing Aqua. Episode 15 would be a filler episode about Ienzo trying to find a replica body for Naminé and Roxas. Episode 16 would be Sora and Aqua saving Ben. Episode 17 would just be a nice, calm little episode. The characters will reflect on how far they came, and then episode 18 would be where everything starts to go to shit. The Guardians of Light will end up losing, and episode 19, that's when Sora will go to the final world, restore everyone's hearts, and turn back time and do all that random shit. And then episode 20, the finale, will just be the final battle. and Flora disappearing, and everything else like the Quadratum, Yuzora stuff will be explained in the Remind OVA. And obviously, if there is a season 6, it will be based off of Kingdom Hearts 4, if that ever comes out. This is just a really fun project to do. I am going to end up deleting those other videos because I want this to be the definitive video for this concept. And yeah, like, this was just very fun to do. The Kingdom Hearts series is something I am very passionate about, and as soon as the visual adaptation gets announced, whether that be movie, Disney Plus show, anime, I will be watching day one. So yeah, I'm just very excited for that eventual day when that will hopefully happen soon. And yeah, I just really love talking about Kingdom Hearts with you guys. Thank you guys for supporting this project and supporting my channel and helping me grow. I've grown so much since I've started, and I just really have to appreciate you guys for that. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. This is Anthony, your professional yapper, signing out.